Hello, it's Julie, and this is my blog, and we're going to be talking about accessibility when it comes to using technology online and in the classroom for students. And we need to consider not just those with the special needs or the need for accommodation, but we should also consider just regular students. One of the biggest things to think about is eye strain. Looking at a computer for long periods of time is very fatiguing to your eyes. It can also be very fatiguing to the way that your posture is, because you could be leaning forward to type, or you could be having your neck strain because you're leaning toward the screen. So there's a lot of different aspects to consider in the classroom and outside the classroom, such as limiting technology use in a way that is going to allow them constant breaks so that they're not straining their neck, back, or eyes. So that's one of the big things to consider just overall for all students. But we also want to look at accessibility when it comes to students that have different sorts of impairments that need some kind of accommodation. So one of the things is vision. So if we look with vision, we should be able to enlarge the text, make it easier to read. I think this also helps other students in the realm of eye strain. Another thing to consider is being able to change the colors of the screen or the brightness of the screen. Teaching students how to adjust that to work in the room. Some computers and laptops and tablets have an auto brightness adjuster, so it'll adjust to the light to make it so it's not too bright in a dark setting and not too dim in a light setting. And it's really good to set that up for your students or show them how to do that. Another thing is how some web pages and apps allow for something called dark mode. So it changes all the white areas to a dark area that aren't necessarily to be white. So if paper is white, obviously, the surrounding area around it is black. So that helps with eye strain as well. Another thing is for people with physical impairments to remember that sometimes maybe using a standardized keyboard or even a mouse can be troublesome. So finding different kinds of tools they can use in the hardware department, maybe a joystick for the mouse. Ergonomical keyboards take some time getting used to, but they are very, very helpful because they help to spread your hands out better and prevent the carpal tunnel. I think that's very rare where I am now in China. I don't see a lot of ergonomical keyboards, but in America it was a really big thing, especially for secretarial and administrative staff. With videos and also with audio, there are different ways that you'd have to address that. With someone with a hearing impairment, you're going to want a written transcript, like what we do for our videos, or you're going to want maybe subtitles along the screen that are accurate. And that's very, very good for people with any kind of difficulty understanding. That can even work for ESL students, the people that cannot hear well. And then the reverse is true for those that cannot see. You're going to want the audio version of written things, either like text to speech options for web pages, or actually reading out something or creating a video and having it both, as I said, with the written transcript and a video, and that way they can hear or read, depending on what kind of accommodation they may need. The difficulty there, podcasts are very, very good. But if you're going to do a podcast and you have somebody that cannot hear or cannot hear well, then you're going to have to find a way to make that a document they can read. So those are just some of the accommodations you can use. Robler and Hughes address these in the textbook as ways, along with a myriad of other ways, to allow for students to utilize technology regardless of any kind of issues that could arise. It's just that we have to, as teachers, be very much aware of these things. And even, as I said, for across the board students and our fellow teachers and educators and administrators, being aware of the other things like eye strain and fatigue, neck strain, posture strain, and even things like carpal tunnel and that kind of thing. Thank you very much. And if you have any comments, please feel free to include them. Have a great day.